Hey guys, Sophia here with turquoisetoffee.wordpress.com, and I'm back with another video talking about the most incredible weekend of the entire year, the 2020 Olympia. Every single division in the women's categories were outstanding. I'm going to be talking about women's physique, which was an incredible show. So surprising, so amazing. Now, you want to make sure you subscribe because I already have recaps up of women's bodybuilding, bikini, and women's fitness. So I will be back right away with my recap of figure. You don't want to miss a notification for that. So make sure you subscribe and let's get talking about women's physique. Now, I always begin by talking about what the results of the competition mean for next year's Olympia. And the reason I have the question mark is because these are actually the rules for qualifying for the 2020 Olympia, and we're already looking ahead into next year's 2021 Olympia. But I'm presuming that the rules will be the same. So for women's physique, it'll be the top 5 from this contest who get to qualify for next year's Olympia. So even though these are all the best women in the entire world, we're going to just look at our top 5. And because in my prediction video, we talked about the top 6, I figured we'd throw in our 6th place winner as well. So in first place was Sarah, second was Shanique, third, Natalia, fourth, Barbara, fifth, Ivie, and sixth, Daniely. So looking at Daniely in 6th place, wow, what an amazing, beautiful shape. She has a gorgeous V-taper. Her lats are so beautiful, a tiny waist, so flat, and then great size to her glutes. I particularly like her conditioning in the back. I think the back of her legs look phenomenal. Her glutes are absolutely unreal, a beautiful shape, so well defined. She looks great from the side. There's lovely definition in the side of her legs. Her shoulders are lovely. She just looks awesome. I think her suit is perfect. I love all the darkness. It just complements her hair. Her earring is beautifully sparkly. It matches the suit. She looks really, really good. I did find that from a critical perspective, I would have liked to see a little more three-dimensionality, a little more fullness from her muscles, especially the abs. Her abs look very flat, but I'm not seeing a six-pack, right? You got nice definition, but there's not those abs poking out in her stomach. I would have liked to see the shoulders higher, a little more popped, the back muscles just a little more full. Now, I mean, she looks incredible on her own, but when I go to our 5th place winner, Ivie, I think you'll see what I mean about just a little bit more fullness in those muscles. But my goodness, she looked incredible. Great definition. I love all the separation between the muscles in her quads. She looked unreal, and I think a 6th place was fantastic. Okay, here's Ivie in 5th place. And maybe you agree with me about she just looks a little bit more full. Those muscles are really popping. Great separation, great definition. You look at her back, her traps are unreal. Her shoulders are up by her ears almost, just so full, such a great amount of muscle mass. Her lats are amazing. She has very high insertion points, so they really stick out really far, way up by her bikini top. A beautiful shape, a very long torso. Her abs look nicely defined, and her legs are wonderful. Great size, nice definition. From behind, I think her legs are pretty good. I actually think Daniely had even more beautiful definition in the back of her legs. But Ivie just looked really incredible. Her tricep is right in your face, it's just, oh, she looked so good. She's got a great silhouette, a beautiful package, just awesome. I loved her suit. I loved her earrings. Everything about Ivie was great. And I think as we progress from 6th place all the way through to 1st, it's almost like the girls just get a tiny bit better as we go. You can see where the judges were going with their points. So 5th place for Ivie was tremendous. Okay, next in fourth was Barbara, who I was so pleasantly surprised to see in the top 5. She looked amazing. And she's kind of got the best of both aspects of Ivie and Daniely's physiques. She's got fabulous definition from the front and the side and the back. You see so much beautiful shape to her muscles, great separation. Her legs in particular look amazing. But she also has some beautiful fullness and roundness to those muscles. Her shoulders are great. Her biceps are incredible. I love how they're just popping right out of her arms. Amazing shoulders and a great X. She's really got this beautiful shape where the lats come in to such a small waist and then right back out into her beautiful, well-developed glutes and quads. So she's got this great silhouette. She looked fantastic. I would have liked to see even more definition in the back of her legs. I know that's crazy because she's already amazing. But even in this picture, you can see that while you're getting a lot of hamstring on the one leg, the second leg over here is not quite as you're not quite seeing the hamstrings. You're not seeing quite as much separation between those muscles. I really like to see everything on these physique women. And when we get to our third place winner, I think you'll see what I mean about just being a little bit more defined. But holy smokes, Barbara looked amazing, and fourth place is fantastic. Okay, here's Natalya in third place. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. So since we're on the topic, let's talk about the definition in her legs. Do you see what I mean about both of her legs are just so well defined, even from behind? Unbelievable. Her conditioning is perfect. I think she looked so good. She's got amazing legs. That's one thing I really noticed about Natalya is she has a beautiful way of posing. It's almost dancer-like, very, very flowy and very deliberate placement of her legs. And she poses in such a way that her legs look incredible. I couldn't stop looking at her legs. She's got this beautiful point to her toe as she extends her leg in front, and it just makes all of the muscles shine. Absolutely gorgeous. She's got a lovely smooth walk, and I just liked everything about Natalya. Amazing lat spread. She has such a gorgeous silhouette. The suit was perfect. I love the red with the black. It's very eye-catching. It matches the backdrop of the Olympia. She just looked incredible. The hair was lovely, makeup, jewelry, everything. I thought that the fullness of her muscles was there too. I wouldn't mind a little bit more mass in her back. I don't want her to change her silhouette at all because she's got a beautiful shape, but I wouldn't mind if we saw a little bit more size, to the traps and to that middle back. But her shoulders are lovely. Her legs are amazing. I particularly like how defined it is right here between her glute and her quads. Like, just unbelievable. Her abs look lovely, great definition, nice size, amazing. Okay, now in second place, Shanique, our defending champion. And you guys, it was 1 point between second and first. Can you believe it? 1 point. It just goes to show you how good all of these girls are and how close the competition really was. That is insane to me that first and second were 1 point away from each other. What an amazing show. So from head to toe, Shanique is gorgeous. She has such a beautiful way of moving. She's so beautiful. She's so pretty. She's got this gorgeous makeup. The hair is lovely. Her suit is so flattering to her skin tone. It's eye-catching. It's bright. It's beautiful. And then her physique is out of this world. By far the best abs on stage. They are so three-dimensional, they're so full, and yet her waist is tiny. And the tiny waist gives her such an incredible V-taper with those beautiful lats. And now her quads are something else. She has so much muscle mass in those legs, and the definition is fantastic. You're really seeing a lot of the separation between the muscles. You get to see every single little line, nook and cranny in her legs. She just looks so good. And she's quite balanced, right, between top and bottom. She's got big legs, but she also has very big lats and big shoulders. I find Shanique is probably the broadest on top as well, which you'll really notice when we look at the lineup of all the girls side by side. Her shoulders are something else. So, I mean, my goodness, if this is what gets you a second place, that's pretty phenomenal. What a tough competition. Now, in terms of why didn't she get first? Why didn't she win? What was that 1 point difference between her and Sarah? The thing that I'm thinking it could have been was a posing thing, a posing issue. And I noticed about Shanique that she always keeps her feet either facing straight forward at the judges, or she puts her toes together and the heels out. And I wonder, I imagine she's doing that strategically to create a particular shape in the legs. She doesn't want to turn out her knees and have the quads really rounded on the sides of her body. So she knows what she's doing. She is an Olympia champion. But I wonder if she couldn't change the angle of her feet to change the shape of those legs. Because when we look at Sarah next in first place, Sarah was doing something a little bit different, and it did make her shape a little bit different. Okay, let's just go to it. And please feel free to comment in the comment section below if you think I'm crazy, but that's kind of where I'm headed. Okay, so let's look at Sarah's posing. She's got her feet turned out, the heels are more in and the toes are more out, and then she's up on her toes. And even though she has an incredible amount of muscle mass in her quads, just like Shanique, it does create a really nice shape to the legs. It's less rectangular and almost triangular, right? They're coming in towards the knees, and then they flare out and back up towards the hips. So I'm wondering if that had something to do with the placings, because otherwise both women are so good. They're very comparable, still different. They have different strengths and weaknesses, but that's kind of where I'm headed. Now, in terms of Sarah's physique, just looking at Sarah, she looks beautiful. What an amazing shape she has. Her shoulders are lovely, not as big as Shanique's, to be fair, but they're a nice shape. They really come nicely into her lats, which are very wide, an extremely small stomach, beautiful definition, not the craziest, biggest abs like Shanique's, but they're very well defined. They're still popping. You can see the whole six pack, and then those legs are incredible. A beautiful amount of definition. I love from the side how much of those muscles you're seeing. You're seeing that difference between the glute and the quads. And from behind, oh my gosh, her glutes are unbelievable. They are such a beautiful shape, and the conditioning is there. There's almost a little bit of striations going on. Her hamstrings look great. She really had a beautiful package from top to bottom, and I particularly liked how good her legs and her glutes looked from behind. So, my gosh, 1 point, guys, 1 point. So let's look at everybody on stage. Now, of course, these photos are a little bit zoomed out so that they could get all of the top 6 in. So I will show some more pictures in a minute that are a little bit more crisp, but you can see what I mean about some of these physiques in comparison to each other. Shanique has by far the biggest and most broad shoulders, and also the most insane abs. Absolutely. I think Natalia's V-taper stands out. Her shoulders to those lats and then to that tiny little waist is really quite exceptional. And yet Natalya, standing next to Ivie, is almost a more petite package. The girls on either side of her are quite a bit larger, but she is holding her own and looks really good. I think Sarah, you can see what I mean now about the feet. Sarah has a little bit more turn out in her toes, so it's kind of making a beautiful shape in her quads, whereas Shanique here is putting her toes together and her heels are out. And it does create a different illusion of the shape of the legs. That's my theory. You can let me know what you think. Everybody looks gorgeous. Barbara has an amazing shape. Her definition looks fantastic. Daniely looks really good. Her legs, I love Daniely from behind. I think the back of her legs look phenomenal. Her glutes look amazing. And Ivie just has so much size. Her shoulders are so high. It was just an incredible top 6. So here's a little mashup I made of all the ladies standing in their front pose. You can see what I mean about Sarah has just the most beautiful shape, extremely perfect X. Very well balanced, great proportions. Shanique is so close with the in second place. Good gracious, her quads are so beautiful, her abs, unbelievable. But everybody looks good. It was a really, really great lineup. And here we see them from behind. Sarah's glutes are exceptional, in my opinion. Natalya could use a little bit more mass in her back, as I said, but everybody looks incredible. Shanique's tiny waist is just ridiculous. It's so small. She looks incredible. And I think everybody did such an amazing job, and I hope everybody is really happy with the results because this was phenomenal. Now, in terms of Olympia 2021, Sarah, of course, and Shanique no longer have to worry about points. They will be qualified for life. And I believe Natalia, Barbara, and Ivie are now qualified for the 2021. Now, returning to my predictions, I didn't do too bad. I had thought Shanique, Sarah, Natalya, and Daniely would be there, so I got 4. Now, Pen Pagrai, I saw just days before the Olympia, had to announce that she wasn't going to be able to make it. She said it was because of the virus and visa issues. So how disappointing for her. The fans too, but I mean for her, my gosh. So hopefully we'll see her again competing soon. And then Lorraine was my wild card, and she actually came in 8th place. So not too bad for a wild card pick. So I think I did not too bad. So there you have it, my recap of the women's physique category. I hope you liked it. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and make sure you subscribe. I will be back right away with the recap of figure. You can find me at turquoisetoffee.wordpress.com and of course on Instagram at turquoisetoffee.